In 2010, getting a taxi in most major cities felt strangely outdated. You stepped onto the street, you raised your hand, and you hoped someone stopped. Sometimes they did. Sometimes they didn't. Sometimes they refused your destination. In New York, a single taxi medallion cost over $1 million. In many cities, the number of taxis was artificially limited. Fares were fixed. Innovation was nearly frozen in time. Most people won't comment. If this surprised you, type what shocked you the most. Like it so this story doesn't die here. Subscribe, because the next one will hit even harder. Transportation, one of the most essential services in any economy, had barely evolved in decades. And then, something changed. But here's the shocking part. Uber didn't start by attacking taxis. It attacked the friction around them. That small shift would end up shaking governments, bankrupting medallion owners, and rewriting the rules of urban mobility worldwide. So how did a startup with no cars and no drivers disrupt a century-old global industry? The answer begins with a simple frustration. In 2008, during a snowy night in Paris, two tech entrepreneurs struggled to find a cab. That inconvenience sparked a question: what if you could press a button and get a ride? It sounds obvious today, but at the time, it was radical. Taxi markets were tightly regulated, cities controlled licenses, supply was capped, pricing was standardized. Uber bypassed the entire structure. No medallions, no central dispatch, no taxi fleet, just an app connecting private drivers to passengers. At first, it launched as a luxury black car service. But the real innovation wasn't luxury, it was control. Passengers could see the car approaching in real time. They knew the driver's name. They paid automatically. They rated the experience. Power shifted from the institution to the individual. And once customers experienced that control, there was no going back. The backlash was immediate. Taxi unions protested. Cities issued bans. Drivers blocked roads in demonstration. In some countries, executives faced lawsuits and criminal investigations. Yet Uber kept expanding. It launched city after city before regulators could respond. The strategy was aggressive and calculated. Grow fast. Build demand. Create dependence. This created a powerful network effect. More riders attracted more drivers. More drivers reduced wait times. Shorter wait times attracted even more riders. Traditional taxi systems couldn't adapt at that speed. Uber also introduced surge pricing, charging higher fares during peak demand. It was controversial, but economically, it balanced supply and demand in real time. Higher prices attracted more drivers when rides were scarce. Taxis couldn't legally adjust like that. Uber could. By 2015, Uber operated in over 60 countries. Its valuation surpassed $50 billion. Beneath the growth was a dangerous reality. The company was losing billions. It was spending aggressively to dominate markets. Then came internal chaos, workplace scandals, leadership crises, public criticism. The founder stepped down in 2017. Many believed Uber would collapse under legal pressure and financial losses. But something had changed globally. In cities like London, Mumbai, Sao Paulo, and Los Angeles, millions relied on Uber daily. For income, for convenience, for mobility. Governments that once tried to ban Uber began regulating it instead, because honestly, public adoption had already reshaped expectations. Under new leadership, Uber shifted strategy. It exited unprofitable markets, sold operations in China and Southeast Asia in exchange for equity stakes, and then focused on consolidation instead of unchecked expansion. In 2019, Uber went public. Profitability took years. But the disruption was permanent. Taxi medallion prices in cities like New York collapsed. Entire regulatory systems were forced to adapt. And consumer behavior changed forever. Today, ride tracking, digital payments, and driver ratings feel totally normal. But before Uber, they weren't. Uber didn't just build a ride app. It exposed how fragile rigid systems can be when technology removes friction. It showed that if you make something significantly more convenient, people will choose it, even if laws haven't caught up yet. The deeper lesson isn't about taxis. Most people won't comment. If this surprised you, type what shocked you the most. Like it so this story doesn't die here. Subscribe because the next one will hit even harder. It's about power. If you identify a daily frustration shared by millions, and you remove it elegantly, you don't just improve an industry, you redefine it. So the real question is this: what industries today feel stable, regulated, untouchable, but are quietly waiting for their Uber moment?